How do you define failure for yourself?
Something or the end result that is I'm not happy about it. So if you're really passionate about something, you will go whole hog and make all those compromises, as people say. I remember I've been hiring for last almost 27, 28 years now. Out of 5 resumes that I would see, I would definitely feel that I can hire 1 or 2. These days, I'm able to see 20 and I'm still not able to figure out who are those 1 or 2.
So what will happen if somebody like you guys didn't exist? Welcome to GameRoom. Today we have Amit with us. He's a founder. He wears multiple hats, but he is also the founder of WeNaturalists. So thanks a lot, Amit, for agreeing to do this with us.
Thank you, Naveen. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to talk to you and your audience.
Like yours.
And I hope this journey for the next 1 hour remains amazing.
Likewise. So I will let you also introduce yourself in terms of what are those multiple hats which you're wearing and what all you take care of.
So I would like to say that rather than multiple hats, it's something that I have been enjoying doing is creating things. And that's what I've been doing of late. So first thing which is very, very close to my heart and that really changed the way I look at entrepreneurship is WeNaturalists, which I started in building in 2019 and launched in 2021 early. And obviously, while I was in the consulting space, one thing led to the other, and I'm also now working with another company which is largely into new age media tech business, which is also into building brands and also working with so many interesting people around. And with that entity, I've learned so much to deal with multiple facets of life and understanding how exactly the country is moving in a different direction altogether, how the world of consumption is moving, and how a capitalist thought process can go straight away feeding into what I'm doing in WeNaturalists, and how the entire world is so connected, right? There is no natural world and there's no unnatural world. It's all connected. And we are all connected, whether you are working for profit or you're working for not for profit. Everything is so well connected. So that's what is a very different approach towards life that WeNaturalists has brought into me. So today, whatever we do, I end up connecting back to nature.
Okay.
Right. So that's one critical thing that has happened to me in last few years. Although honestly, that journey started much earlier in life when I used to run a foundation called Swades. So while I was working with Swades, I also realized that how the ecosystem is so well connected, air, water, soil, flora, fauna, and the need for water was really the biggest challenge over there. How do you really bring water to the households? None of the houses used to ever get direct supply of water. There were no second or the third seasons of farming. Only when the water, through rainfall was the only time when they used to build any kind of agriculture practices. So all these things really correlated, working with the communities, working with the government in some form. And over a period of time, I realized that all these things, whether it is community, whether it is working with the ecosystem, looking at the environment and environment's impact on livelihood and the farming practices, also made certain investments in agriculture space. And I realized that how exactly agriculture is so dependent on nature's vagaries that it is so difficult to predict tomorrow that whether today, like there is a rainfall today, suddenly, right? In the month of early or mid-May, having a rainfall in the country, that means there is something wrong, right? But this is how essentially the environment has been for years together now. And we can't predict, right? There are uncertainties, there are unpredictable scenarios that keeps on happening. And then when we are talking about the community which works very aggressively towards protection and conservation and climate action and climate change and so many words and sustainability that you keep on talking about, where do these people really exist? Where do they go? Where do they belong, right? So digital transformation to working with the teams in some way where, like for example, if you have to create a sustainability project or a conservation project today, in any part of the country or the world, the most important thing would be that how do you bring the project manager together? How do you bring the communities together? How do you get those specialists together to work on that particular project? And you can't give them an annual jobs because this is very project-led situation. But where do you find them, right? How do these guys come together, right? Should be the skill sets that you should look for? How do you find that someone who's a vulture specialist and you need to get them on board so that immediately you can put up a project, get the funding in place and start working on it? And more, I was venturing into jungles, talking to communities, talking to people who are into conservation, to photographers, to people who venture more into this space through various organizations. I realized there is no one place which consolidates them together and give them enough tools to grow. Today, you have, as a corporate professional, as someone who's working for profit, you are having access to so many interesting tools for project management, for like an Excel is a classic tool which was non-existent years back.
Correct.
Right? But suddenly when Excel came, your life changed. Right? Similarly, when accounting software came, the accountant's life changed. Whenever the project management tool came, the IT guys and the project management people's lives changed. How do you really get those tools which can change the life of people who are working in climate action and social sector so that they can do more with limited resources? That was the first starting point. How do you connect this community together so that you don't have to waste time and energy in hiring people? Because if you have funding, and if you have to start the project tomorrow, you don't have time for 3 months notice periods and this and that. So that's why professionals like the HR consulting firms, they don't entertain these people because there's no certainty of a project. So then in that case, you need a low cost, quick hiring tool for the project, which is going to last for not more than 6 to 12 months.
Correct.
Rather than depending on referrals or friends connects. You need some interesting professional from Africa who's specialist in a particular thing. Someone you need from America. How do you bring them together? All these things, we would have answered more than 500 questions, spoken to hundreds of people globally to come up with a solution called WeNaturalists.
Got it.
So that's the whole journey.
So is it, correct me if I'm wrong, is it GLG for for natural projects?
So I'd not like to limit it to that.
Sure.
Right. In the initial phase, right, a website called Behance.
Yeah.
Right. So I always give this example to people. When Behance was not around, all the creative people used to belong to LinkedIn. They used to be in LinkedIn, or earlier LinkedIn people were on Facebook. Right? But the moment LinkedIn came, professionals moved out who didn't want to go social. They went to a professional network called LinkedIn. When Behance came, all the creative guys moved from LinkedIn to Behance. Right? Now, that's one part of the life. But I can't run my organization on LinkedIn, right? Or on Behance. I can only profile myself on that. I can only attend certain events, right? I can figure out what are the opportunities around it. But I can't run an organization. I can't manage a project. I can't manage my community. I can't create my micro community. I can't create a content over there and get it behind my own paywall. I can't fundraise. So all these things I incorporated as part of WeNaturalists.
Sure.
Right. Sure. So it's a plus. It will be unfair for me to compare it with anything, but it will be stupid of me to not say that I didn't get inspiration from different set of people, but that's how it is. I mean, you feel that, hey, this is the good platform, but there are certain gaps. So I identified those gaps for a specific community and I created this.
Sure. Would love to know you more as a person as well, Amit. You have this passion to create things, which we spoke off camera just some time back. So what keeps you going? I mean, in terms of needing or wanting to create, because I understand that it comes with its own set of challenges. It comes with its own set of emotional upheaval. So and yet you continue doing it in multiple aspects. So where does it come from?
it comes from being a little fearless, right? I mean, that's what I've seen of myself, that I'm not afraid of taking calls, right? And if I'm working with anyone or advising someone or working on creating something new, I would like to play on front foot, right? And sometimes it has gone against me as well, right? I'll accept that, but most of the time it has worked for me. And the only other thing is that I'm not afraid of failures.
Why?
Because at where I come from, I had nothing to lose, but now that has become my nature.
Can you elaborate that?
So, I mean, I've come from a place where I had nothing, and I have taken calls in life and leaving some cushy jobs when I had virtually zero bank balance.
Okay.
Right, I was inundated with debts,
Mm-hmm.
and but I resurrected myself. So I feel that wherever I am, probably I'll be able to take those calls, which probably would bring me back into action. Right. So I think that's just how I am built. But outside of that, to be honest with you, what this is not the way I would like to deal with things.
Hmm.
That should not be the core. My core is essentially getting excited about newer happenings, newer things that are going on in the world, and how I can create an opportunity around that, right? Or if probably I feel that, hey, this is an interesting thing, but it's not going in the right direction,
Hmm.
I would like to steer it in the right direction by putting some nuts and bolts together, right? So this is something that as a problem solving, is that comes naturally to me. uh, Building something new comes very naturally to me. How to defining how of things comes naturally to me. So if you tell me, oh, this is a great idea, but I'm struggling to figure out how do I reach there,
Hmm.
right? More often than not, I would be able to define the how.
Sure. But still, I mean, so for example, in Inception, one thing which I took away is that you need to just plant a seed in somebody's mind. And then, so that's how this approach to creating, solving, and all those things come from a place, right? You spoke about you having nothing and then building something. Uh, that having nothing situation place, because everybody will respond to it in a very different way, right? uh, was that a circumstance of what happened around, or the decisions which you took, that you were in that
In the
position?
position?
Yeah.
No, it was. I come from a very humble background.
Okay.
And you know how exactly when happens when you lose your father in the early days,
Okay.
right? And since then, you just get into that zone of earning money in some form or the other, and then you take certain calls, which leaves you to a very lonely journey.
Hmm.
Right, at those times also you're trying to resurrect yourself and trying to figure out a new environment for yourself in Bombay. I don't come from Bombay, I come from Madhya Pradesh,
Where
right?
is
So
from?
in a small town called Nagda.
Okay.
It's a Grasim town.
Huh.
So born and brought up there. So when you come from a small town to a place like Bombay, I think it's intimidating. It leads you to a very different journey, very lonely journey. And at that point in time, while you may have dreams, but sometimes you feel that you're not even allowed to have dreams
Acha.
in the initial phase, right?
Okay.
Because you're living day to day, right? And while you're running day to day, you still have some thought, some vision that where you intend to go in life, but you really don't know how to go over there, or probably whether the path that you are on, whether that will lead to something exciting in life or not. So at that point in time, what do? Rather than fretting about, oh, what will be my future, I would live today. And I will take the call in a manner which makes me a better person, makes me learn something new, right? And every day there should be something that gets added to your personality or a person as a person. And that's essentially the learning has never stopped.
Okay.
Never stopped. So, I mean, I end up talking to a lot of people, and I'm blessed that I took certain calls in life that has made me learn about so many new things, new businesses. You can practically pick up a product and I'll be able to define the nuts and bolts of it, right? And that has only happened because I've looked at so many different roles and avatars and businesses, got into entrepreneurship, started a food business, got into a restaurant business, got into agriculture, randomly bought a piece of land to figure out what experiments we can do over there. I was also planning to get into a dairy business 10, 12 years back. So for all these things, it's not that today you told me that, hey, what do you think about the business? And I'll get excited and I'll say, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll never do that.
Yeah.
If you tell me an idea, I'll definitely do massive research on it. I'll first understand that whether it's exciting me enough or not, whether it's somewhere part of my core or not. And then, I start getting into it, like dairy, agriculture. These are all very natural businesses.
Yeah.
It's around food.
Yeah.
It comes naturally. It's like there's no life without that. And being a foodie myself, I just feel that's so natural for you to get attracted to something like that, because the food is something that defines you to a large extent, I feel. And the kind of choices that you make in food also, it just defines you who you are. So from that standpoint, to getting into exciting businesses, to learning about how the financial market works, how the capital market works.
Yeah.
Being an early investor, how does that work? How does the VC space work? Being an early investor into some of the amazing companies in the country. Being part of some of the largest listings and capital markets in the country. This is nothing but sheer luck, I would say, and been blessed with some of the exciting people who worked with me, or probably I've been able to work with them in the country. So all these things came together, and if I see that, it's also a function of the kind of calls that I've taken. I'm very sure that some of these things wouldn't have happened if I've just not taken a call to plunge into something and that let's do it. We'll figure out on the way how exactly it'll go, but let's plunge into it. I don't think I would have started WeNaturalists if I was thinking, hey, this community never known. I was not able to relate to some of the conversations these guys used to do in not-for-profit, right? And I used to feel very alienated, right? But I realized that ultimately that's how they've been bred. Probably if we work together and I'm able to share my voice and thoughts with them, automatically some things will change.
So if you have to rewind your life back when you started your professional career, you spoke, because I'm delving so much into it because of that fearless word which you used. And somewhere I feel that a lot of people who I see around, when we speak with candidates, when we speak with clients, when we speak with so many of our colleagues in our company, a lot of us are always afraid of decision making itself, right? And it makes me wonder that what is the consequence that they're afraid of. So if you have to rewind your life, and when you started taking calls with your life in terms of changing, then what was going in your mind? That agar fail hua to fir kya?
So there are only a couple of things that potentially people would be fearful of. One, obviously, losing precious time in the day and age where you could have done a little better for your financials and for your own personal self. The other thing could be losing the money that you have essentially put in. Right, that's one, because I feel time is more precious than money. At least in my case. The third critical thing is the social pressure, right? Which I feel a lot of people I have spoken to, right? That I don't know. I'm comfortable here. I don't know what kind of support that I'm going to get, or whether family is supporting in this particular thing or not. I think some of these fears really, I think, overpower your decision sometimes. And at the same time, after you've had a very cushy corporate life, just getting into entrepreneurship back is a very different journey. And I really salute people who've been able to make that transition. That transition is not easy at all. When tomorrow you know that 30th, your phone will not ring and say, hey, this
Salary
much
paid.
amount credited, I think that's a very different. And I have spoken about this particular phenomena to so many people who have been at the fence of getting into entrepreneurship and doing something of their own. But they said that comfort of that 30th, right, is very, 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 very important to get over, which is very difficult for a lot of people. But at the same time, it also brings in a big different question altogether. How financially stable are you? And how financially stable you've tried to become, and what's your need? And whether you have been able to, meet the needs in certain way. How your EMIs are functioning. What your personal and financial obligations are today. Right? Some of these decisions definitely would be critical.
So when you are working with your team, I mean, businesses are all about people, right? And if there is a team member, you expect them to make decisions more frequently, right? Have you faced instances, or in general, what you feel is the ability to take decisions of people?
It's something inbuilt.
Yeah.
Right? You actually hone that skill over a period of time. Depending upon, again, it comes a lot with fear. If you are living in a very protected environment, I mean, I'm talking about comes from childhood.
Yeah.
Right? The moment you work in a very protected environment, you are being largely told what to do.
Yeah.
Right? And the moment you get at every instance you are told what to do, your ability to think on your own really becomes very difficult. Right? And that is, according to me, that parenting needs to change. Right? So if you want your child or your sibling or anyone else that you can mentor, right, you can help them take their own decisions, even smallest of the decisions, right? What to wear, what not to wear, right? What to eat, what not to eat, where to go for a holiday, where not to go for a holiday, and why. You keep on asking the question, why do you want to do it? How would you like to do it? How would you meet your expenses? It's okay if you want to go for a holiday to, say, Himachal for 15 days and not 5, but you are only budgeted for 5. How do you want to do that 15-day thing? Don't say that, hey, your decision is wrong.
Yeah.
The moment you do that and you say no, the moment you say no, you are done with that decision-making thought process of the individual, because he doesn't know why you said no.
Yeah.
Right? Or he's not been able to go in that direction to even think through himself or herself.
Correct.
That what exactly is required for me to do. That's a very important point. So I always believe, and I always tell people, if you're asking me something, right, where decision is supposed to be mutual, and if you're asking me my approval, what are you thinking about it? Right? What area we should work on? Which direction it should go? What are your thoughts around it? And then we can have a discussion around it. It is a little longer path, but that's okay. It takes 5 minutes more.
But much more value, right?
But absolutely, because I believe in building these teams primarily, and whether it is WeNaturalists or the other areas that I work with, or collective in one form or the other, we work with across age groups. And within that particular thing, if I'm not able to hone that decision-making ability, that means every buck stops at me. How am I going to do it? That's also for myself. Right? I'm being selfish while grooming someone else. Because I want to do lesser work as I move forward.
But not deciding is also a decision, right? See, when you wake up in the morning, you are wanting to go to work. That's a decision you have taken.
Correct.
You're wanting to brush your teeth, it's a decision which you have taken. So on a day-to-day basis,
that's not a decision. That's like your muscle memory. More of often than
muscle memory. But मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि वो choice मेरे पास हमेशा रहती है. Because
naturally, that's a choice.
Right now, you have the choice of not being here. But
took a choice, calculated choice. That this is the place I want to be, and this will be a good conversation. Correct.
And if you would not have been here, that also would have been a choice.
Absolutely.
It's just that
That's also a decision. But
Yeah.
I've taken, see, ultimately, when you take professional decisions in that manner,
Yeah.
there's always something goes on. There are, your mind, depending upon how ripe your mind is and how calculated it is already or experienced it is, it'll keep on doing those permutations, combinations, pros, cons, positive, negatives quickly, and you're able to take that decision. Probably same decision would have been difficult in that time frame for someone else.
Yeah.
Right. Also, it depends upon how you perceive that
Correct.
opportunity. Why it is important for me to brush my teeth.
Yeah.
Right. If that answer is straight,
Yeah.
then, and that is logic also sometimes, that boss, I mean, you can't survive. It's not about bad breath, but your teeth will not be there few months down the line.
Yeah.
So this is basic hygiene. But when it comes to business decisions and everything, that are far, far more difficult because they go sometimes beyond logic. Right? There are a lot of grays that you have to deal with. And at that point in time, how you take the decision when it comes to people, when it comes to money, when it comes to riding a new business and then taking it to a logical conclusion, defining a how for it, whether to take funding or not in a company, right? And at what stage you should go for a funding. Why should I stop and be bootstrapped for a longish period of time and then work on creating something? There are all these decisions. These are not small ones. They cannot be compared with whether you want to brush or not. Honestly, I mean, they are like life-changing, life-threatening, business-changing or threatening in some manner.
How do you define failure for yourself?
Something or the end result that is I'm not happy about, I'm not satisfied about, is a failure.
Okay.
Right? Failure cannot be always seen as, oh my God, life is lost. Right? Or probably there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Right? Failure is that I failed to reach on time to your show. Right? That's also a failure. What do you do with that is something that we need to figure out. So a lot of things that I've been doing, I mean, right, not everything is reached the end result the way I would have wanted. So I failed. There are some small failures, some large failures. So I think anything that I'm not satisfied with at the end is a failure.
And how do you define satisfaction or happiness then?
There's PON awards that we are doing, People of Nature Awards. We have got a crore sponsorship.
Okay.
Right. That is far more than what I am actually anticipating. But yeah, that's a success, not just for myself, but it just sets the whole environment rocking. Right. And I think it's also important for me to see how the environment essentially is functioning around that particular success. There might be certain things, milestones that I'm really happy with, right? Maybe that environment is not really aligned with that, right? My happiness probably will not be that much. So if I'm seeing this, like that was just an example, that if I'm getting a massive visibility to that particular awards because we are going whole day this year for the first time in 5 years, right? That will be a different excitement altogether. Last year, first time we went offline, even if it was a 1.5 hour show, it was super exciting. And our team, I can see the very different team at that point in time. We had such an amazing time offline and online and everything that we were doing at that time in Delhi. And that's the success. That's a small success. And on the stage itself, I decided that we are going for the whole day next year.
Wow.
Right? Because I saw that excitement in everyone. Yeah, if we can take that 1.5 hours in someone else's conference and then really make it interesting for people, let's do it for the whole day. Wow. So these are small successes which are exciting.
Sure. And Amit, एक और चीज बहुत important है. I'm just trying to understand you as a person who's also an entrepreneur, right? So when I'm running my company, right? For us, every day is a fresh day, irrespective of whether you have failed or succeeded the previous day. So you can't take either failure or success for granted because both will not stay permanent. And so there is one side of me who keeps telling me that yeah, you need to be satisfied with whatever life throws at you. But at the same time, there is another side where that hunger or that zeal to keep looking for more can only come if you're not satisfied. So, how do you maintain that equilibrium to stay sane as an entrepreneur?
But I feel a little contrary. You can be satisfied with the outcome of yesterday, but that hunger for achieving more, I don't think that's linked to what you achieved yesterday, right? So I would always strive for more if I have achieved X, which is more of a milestone and not the goal itself. So I would like to do more and more at any given point in time to set newer milestones.
Okay.
Right? Because I don't think this life is just to be satisfied with whatever you have. I'm not talking about money in this case. I'm talking about anything to do with, right? So at a very late stage in my life, I started learning music.
Yeah.
Right? But someone will tell me that at the age of 45, why do you want to do that? I said, so what's the harm in doing it? At very late in my life, I became a bird photographer with a random camera, right? So what? But am I satisfied with it, or am I trying to do better every time I'm doing that? Absolutely yes. All right. So I don't think that satisfaction in your personal or professional life has anything to do with wanting more, right? I would always strive for more. Right? With WeNaturalists, I mean, are we happy with 550,000 people on the board? Answer is no. Right? But are we content with the progress that the team and everyone has made efforts and brought it to this level? Absolutely yes. It's not easy to do whatever we've done.
Of course.
Right? But am I satisfied with it? And I'll not say, I'll say, oh, now it's good. Like, let's now milk all these people and we'll be home. Right? Answer is no. We'll constantly look out for those another 50 million who are out there, who are ready to get onto the particular platform. So yeah, I think you'll always have to strive for more.
Then how do you align? So let's say there are a lot of times when your hunger levels are sometimes unmatched with your team or surroundings. So how do you build that purpose?
That's a natural filtration process.
Sure.
Right? So it's Dandi Yatra of Mahatma Gandhi. People who couldn't walk with him,
yes,
right? They fell apart, right? Or they were not anymore part of that entire yatra, right? So if you are working as an entrepreneur, as a team leader, with a particular pace, with a particular vision, if people are not aligned with both pace and vision in some form or the other, they'll always find their own way out. I mean, I don't have to make effort for that.
Great analogy, Dandi Yatra.
So, why would I make an effort to change myself? Because there are, in India or overseas, there are 7 billion people or 8 billion people I can get them to. Today I'm blessed that I have such an amazing team which has been around since inception.
Yeah.
Right? Not everyone will have that kind of a privilege. But irrespective of that, I've seen people who have come and who've gone. And I've seen people who've struggled with me or for this particular vision. A lot of people have called that what are you achieving? What are you trying to get to? So that's okay.
And is it important to emotionally detach yourself with that feeling of people falling out?
I think as a default, if I'm able to figure out initially that this person is not going to be for long term, and I think I can identify that, I always do not get emotionally attached.
Have you ever questioned why you're doing whatever you're doing there?
No.
Okay.
As I said, that anything that I'm passionate about, yes, if I'm doing 20 things, out of that, there will be few things which I'm doing it for the sake of doing it because it's required from the environmental perspective, and it happens with everyone. Very few people get to really be very binary in their approach in every form, that hey, either I'm doing it or I'm not doing it. There's nothing in the middle. But I have been doing things which may be some things which I may not be fully committed to. But by and large, I'm in the space where I love what I'm doing. I'm excited meeting new people. I'm excited creating new things. I'm excited with grooming new people, dealing with age group which is at a different level altogether, and then so much to learn from them as well with a newer perspective. So I don't think there's any such regret.
And what does creating mean to you?
It's like uh, growing crop on the field or seeing a plant grow, right? Seeing a business grow, conceptualizing what is supposed to be grown today or probably planted today, or creating a new brand, right? Understanding where the market would be and how we exactly will take it global. What are the nuances in this particular thing that we can actually create a disruption, and then finding a how of making it happen.
Sure.
This is largely what I like.
And what kind of ingredients is which is required? So let's say if a very young person comes to you and needs guidance or coaching from you, who's wanting to create something, what kind of ingredients are important for a creator from a personality or approach standpoint?
It's very person dependent. There's no one. That's what I feel. That there's no one thing which fits all. Right. So it totally depends upon if I'm talking to Naveen as in you. Knowing you for me is going to be very, very important. Understanding what really excites you. Right. When we are building brands with people as well, we'll just try to figure out what are we really trying to do and why we are trying to do. Same thing as WeNaturalists. If you would have told me creating a community like a Behance for myself, answer is no, because I don't relate to that community myself. Right? I may be a little creative in my thinking, but I may not be able to create what Behance has been able to create, or something that which is extremely technology heavy, where technology is the product. I don't relate to that. For me, technology is an enabler, right? So from that standpoint, anything that I relate to, I will always do better in that. So I need to find right passion. I need to find what you are most excited about. What if I leave you with that particular thing for the next 5 hours uninterrupted, without food and without water, would you still be able to survive? Because you're passionate enough that you'll not feel hunger or thirst or anything else, right? And I think that's a very critical thing for you to know about yourself or anyone, right? What can just keep you going? If that you found out at an early age or a stage, rest everything is secondary.
लेकिन so I'll tell you, for example, I have seen really good cricketers just throwing it all away. And I mean, we have, so for example, Sachin and Kambli started together, right? Sachin went in a certain, most people say that Vinod Kambli was much more talented than Sachin. Kambli would have connected with sports.
That's not about just talent. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Whether you have it in you to go whole hog, for that you'll have to make some sacrifices. For that you'll have to keep your temperament in a particular zone.
Yeah.
Right. For that you'll probably will have to learn and be a learner for a longish period of time.
Yeah.
Right. So everything goes together. So if you're really passionate about something, right, you will go whole hog and make all those compromises, as people say, or discipline or sacrifices. All these things go together. Change in your lifestyle, right, which some of the players wouldn't do, right? I don't want to unnecessarily name that cricketer, but I felt that he had massive life around him in a very, very early age. But I think he threw it away completely.
A young cricketer you're talking
Absolutely
about.
Young cricketer, right? And I used to look at his shots and cover drive, like outstanding cover drive,
Hmm.
but he just threw it away. I don't know what happens to these people with such an amazing opportunity. You are in youngest in your team, and that to India 11, and you're throwing that away. I feel so sad about that.
Yeah.
But that's how it would be. Your discipline, and that's why I think uh, discipline. I think if you look at all the 10, 20 names who really stood out in Indian cricket per se, all those 10, 20 names that you can name them, they have been extremely disciplined. They've given 100 to 200%
Correct.
on the field and off the field.
Yeah.
It's not only on the field.
Yeah.
So if you're not giving that off the field, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So, and it goes in the professional environment also.
Yeah.
So you have to give 100% on and off both.
What is then what becomes more critical? I mean, तुम्हारा एक चीज होती है passion, quality. So, for example, whenever I'm interviewing people, I mean, and what I ask them is what keeps you going, and what scares me the most as an answer is I need to enjoy the work which I'm doing, right? That the problem is that today, I mean, 9 out of 10 things which I will do will not be so enjoyable. But the good part, the most important part is that if you can keep doing the mundane things with the same level of excitement over and over again or not, and that is when you achieve that kind of success.
So if I ask you a counter question, what keeps you going?
Hunger. I mean, so there are a lot of personal goals. I come from a very similar background like you. I was born in Bilaspur,
Right.
Chhattisgarh. I lost my dad at a very early age, and then I grew up around a family which was mostly, debt ज़्यादा था rather than investment. But मेरे को एक चीज समझ में आ गया था कि वो एक undying hunger तो दिमाग में है ही, wherein I want to chase a lot of big things in life. Now that is what maybe makes me keep going, and obviously I also come from humble background, तो फिर मेरे को पता है कि यार मैं वापस जा सकता हूँ वहाँ पे, लेकिन मुझे भी grounded रहना है और मुझे अपने आसपास लोगों को support करना है and make them grow. That also is another factor which keeps me going.
I think if you really see in what you just mentioned, there are multiple reasons why people will keep on going on. There could be a financial need, and if their financial need is so strong, then they'll not think about anything else, but just plunge into anything that comes their way.
Yeah.
The other thing is there will be people who will be looking at financial need and their personal growth as well. If it is intellectually stimulating enough, and while you are in that particular journey, whether you're learning constantly. Yes, as I said, there'll not be everything that you will enjoy.
Yeah.
But is the journey enjoyable as a whole? Because ultimately focus is what you want to slowly achieve, even if it is money, right? 10 years later, you want to have this kind of a bank balance, right?
Yeah.
But my journey to that, I know that I'll enjoy, for example, right? In that, there might be few things that I may not like. They are sacrifices, because my end goal is like I have to be a person who has 100 centuries behind me,
Yeah.
right? So for that, there are few things that I will not enjoy, which is I have to quit some food. I have to change my lifestyle. I'll have to do certain things. But is the journey interesting enough? If I'm moving from one milestone to the other, am I actually enjoying that part? Am I enjoying playing at that stage? Am I enjoying creating in my stage? I think that is more critical. Rest, everything is fringe. If it is like, if everything that you're doing you're not enjoying, and every time you're coming dissatisfied at home, and it is a series of like 1 year you've been doing that, then obviously you'll have to relook at your entire plan. But otherwise, I mean, we are having this conversation. I'm telling you, 99% of the people, they'll not even realize that what they're in right now.
Of course.
Right? I don't think anyone is having those conversations with them. Right? When I'm doing appraisals at certain level, and when I talk to people, right, they most of the time they fumble whether they're enjoying it or not. If they're having a good time in office, they feel they're enjoying it. That's very different.
Yeah. then what? I mean, then how do you approach your professional journey then? I mean, is it, or for that matter, is it important that my end goal is so strong enough that I will eventually start liking the journey?
I think it's a combination of everything.
Sure.
Half of these people, or half of us, or
Hmm.
more than half, we don't know our end goal.
Hmm.
I don't know how many people know
course.
their end goal. We have milestones probably,
Hmm.
but I don't think we have very chalked out end goal. Right? I mean, when we fund a lot of companies, people will say, "Hey, my goal is listing this company in somewhere." How many listings really happen?
Yeah.
But are they satisfied in selling their company to a large multinational or anyone else in the world? Yes, I'm sure they will. But their goals change, keep on changing. But is that guy dissatisfied because he couldn't list? Probably, because listing is for him was the real end goal. But is he completely dissatisfied with whatever value he's created by selling it to a strategic or a financial investor? Probably not. Right? So I think there's so many large companies in the country today, they've not reached that milestone.
So you would have met and worked with so many entrepreneurs. I mean, who either through your fund or, for that matter, through multiple brands who you work with. What is one consistent quality which which you would have seen, which is common maybe amongst the ones who are successful versus those who are not?
Everyone has that one thing that changes the whole perspective of that individual and makes him do certain things better. There's no one quality.
There's no common
There's
thread.
I think persistence, perseverance, resilience, these are standard things, right? Everyone will talk about. But I don't think there's only one thing common between all. Someone would have got product right and failed and then again resurrected. So someone, he's bagged very well and doing very well because he's coming with a sense of comfort in a certain way. Someone got it right in the first time itself, so he couldn't test himself too much. Someone was coming with a little bit of a silver spoon and well backed up. So everyone has very different approach towards entrepreneurship. So I personally think each one of, if you, it's so many entrepreneurs that you must be talking to right now, but if you ask them, they'll have very different journeys, very different stories, very different learnings to share. And these 2-3 words will any which ways be common among all of that. But there's no one thing which ever defines all the entrepreneurs together. Because सबका starting अलग है, सबका milestones अलग है, सबकी requirements अलग है, सबके motivations अलग है, right? And yeah, I think that's how we are defined. सबके experiences अलग है.
Yeah.
Right? And we are all made up of our experiences and those motivations that keeps us going. So if everything is different, then there's no one thing that will be similar in everyone.
As an entrepreneur, Amit, what makes you anxious? I mean, what are your personal, areas in which you are scared? You did say that you are fearless, but I'm sure आपके भी कुछ weak
सबके होते हैं.
हाँ, तो आपके मतलब
calls taking में I'm fearless, but generally I am a
calls taking में अच्छा
when I
okay.
take calls.
All right. Okay.
Right. That's where probably I'm more fearless. But yes, everyone has their own fears. I too have. Right. I get anxious with not being able to get the right people for the right job. Right. And then I feel that it's not going to be justice to the milestones that we've set out to. I get anxious with sometimes get anxious by not allocating the right time or priorities and resources to a cause or a milestone. So those are more things which are a little bit in our control, but we make mistakes.
I'm glad that you brought that people issues in.
People is the biggest challenge that this country is facing today.
Okay. In what sense?
We don't have the right manpower. We don't have enough good quality skilled manpower for the costs we are paying.
Only skill or
intent? Intent, skill, motivation, generations that we are dealing with right now, and the scale is really a challenge. at
Why do
this
you think
stage.
it's the case?
Very controversial,
Hmm.
right? And I would like to take it at some other time.
Okay.
But I really feel some of these people that we are now interviewing and talking, they lack motivation in some manner.
Acha.
There can be hundreds of reasons behind it.
Hmm.
Probably this is not the right forum, but I feel we are really facing some people crisis in the country today. Intent to commitments to motivation to skills,
Hmm.
the ability to learn fast, fail fast, or implement fast.
Hmm.
It's not there.
Okay.
I remember I've been hiring for last almost 27, 28 years now.
Hmm.
Out of 5 resumes that I would see, I would definitely feel that I can hire 1 or 2.
Hmm.
These days, I'm able to see 20
Yeah.
and meeting 10, and I'm still not able to figure out who are those 1 or 2.
Wow.
That's my problem. And this is not only me. There are so many larger companies and otherwise they're dealing with. The resume says something,
Yeah.
right? The quality of interviews are very different.
Hmm.
Then the quality of assignments are very different. And then the level of commitments are very different. People make you wait for 2 months, 2.5 months, and just before 5
Yeah.
days before joining, they'll say, "Hey, my personal goals have changed." I don't know what that means. Right? 5 days, you've made someone wait for your 3 months notice
Yeah.
period. I don't know how does it work in life,
Hmm.
right? And this is not happening once or twice. For last 7-10 years, this particular thing has been it's
Yeah.
growing significantly. You being in the HR space,
Yeah.
you would be facing it on a regular basis. And how do you operate in this space? And then we say we don't have jobs. I mean, someone who's ready to give you a job,
Yeah.
you're not ready to take, or you're not skilled enough to do it. I mean, I don't know where the issues are. And at the other space, the costs are going up significantly. So there's such a huge, if there are no jobs, then it, purely from a supply and demand perspective, the cost should reduce, right?
Yeah.
Where is that reducing?
You've touched a very sensitive nerve, but I completely agree with you, Amit. इसको सॉल्व कैसे कर सकते हैं? Let's say if this is a problem, ठीक है? अब इसका मेरे ख्याल I agree with you that there are some very
we should have an employee rating system. If someone has done this to you,
yeah,
should be
yeah,
a common platform
agree.
where you are blacklisting that guy, right? And there should be a completely level playing ecosystem in the entire hiring world.
Yeah.
Right? Hiring should be under one umbrella across the board, not hiring per se, but the employee. If you are not on this particular platform,
then you're
not hireable.
Yeah.
Right? And that platform will tell, it'll be your entire life history on how exactly you've behaved.
Yeah.
Not how you've worked.
Yeah.
How you've behaved.
Yeah.
Whether at the time of hiring or interviews or not met your commitments, yes, that can be misused also by people.
Yeah.
But there can be checks and balances for that and make it a distributed ecosystem.
मैं भी यही सोच रहा था, Glassdoor for employees, something like that.
To a large extent, but there's a massive need right now.
Yeah.
Glassdoor for the recruiters, it's actually it's a little bit of abused platform, I feel. But
exactly.
This is needed.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to blacklist people who made me wait for 3 months.
Exactly.
Imagine if I say my heart changed and I'm not hiring you now. Will your company take you back?
Exactly.
No. So that's what it is.
I got a better.
You won't believe, in one of the companies, I would have easily done it with one of the employees who was hired when the company was in good shape. By the time she was supposed to get onto the board, the entire company flipped, transitioned in a very, very bad shape.
Oh.
I could have easily send a message that, sorry, we can't take you in.
Yeah.
But we honored our commitment. We said, no problem, we'll figure out what's supposed to be done and we'll create a role in a certain way, but at a lower cost maybe, but we still didn't renegotiate. And that person came and she's doing so well right now. My point is that someone needs to adhere to these level
Yeah.
of commitments, because there's a full ecosystem that gets built on your commitment at that time.
Yeah.
Probably I'm waiting for you because I found you good, and I'm waiting, ready to wait for 3 months for you to come and change the stuff that I have figured
Yeah.
out away.
एक मैं broader question ये भी है कि you spoke about India is facing people wise and a challenge because motivations are not at the right place, वो hunger नहीं है, वो discipline नहीं है, etc etc. उसको कैसे चेंज किया जा सकता है, क्योंकि
कुछ नहीं कर सकते, वॉल्यूम बहुत ज्यादा है।
उसको टैकल करना है।
But that needs a very different approach, and I think all the corporates largely will have to start taking those steps towards coming onto a single platform to address these issues.
Okay.
Skill sets are like, I mean, how do you really work on skill sets of people? You'll have to keep on rotating jobs. You'll have to, so that that person is far more better than what he was 5 years back. I don't know anyone is working on that or not. How many people rotate jobs?
Yeah.
How many people are given opportunities to do more than what they were brought in for? Why are JDs so restrictive? Right? When someone is coming over there and already delivered good,
Yeah.
why is that person not given different role to perform to ensure and see the elasticity?
Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot that you can do. I mean, there's no one thing.
So amongst all the businesses which you have taken care of, you spoke about working with different brands in terms of, and building them up. You are a partner with one of the VC funds as well. Which amongst these are where your true passion lies?
It'll be unfair for me, or probably I'll not do justice to this answer if I say anything else but WeNaturalists.
Okay.
Because of one key reason. One, obviously, I'm running it for profit, so that's one critical area. But primarily, if you really ask me, this is a real need today. What we have identified is very rarely being talked about.
Sure.
Right in the world, because there's a lot of anxiety, I would say, in the people who deal with this particular space, because there's always a glass ceiling they hit very soon in their careers. Right? No one is able to reflect upon the opportunity in a manner that we've been able to do as a team, and identified small aspects of their journeys and figured out how we can make an impact on that. So WeNaturalists is a very driven platform where impact, and whether it is an individual or an NGO or a foundation or a CSR or clubs or any other community, right? There is a massive impact that can be created at the ground level. Right?
Sure.
So I believe that whatever you do, whether you're building a brand or whether you're building a WeNaturalists or any other community or any other product, that impact needs to be very, very strong. Yes, there are people who will not be able to see that impact today, but tomorrow it will be a completely different game. That's what we need to addressed in some manner, and you have to just be at it. You can't withdraw in the middle and say, hey, it's been 3 years, people are not getting it, let me just unwind. But if you feel, and if there are 500 people who have already told you this is the need, and you've built on it every time that you've gone to the market, then definitely there is a need. But at the same time, people are not able to address that need through this particular platform in the right manner. And that's why we started approaching it very differently. We started our own programs. We started creating newer events. We started bringing people together under one umbrella of WeNaturalists. We went to schools, we went to colleges, we created a green entrepreneurship program, we created green childhood program, we created green college champions, and green, a lot of these things were created. This is a different approach towards bringing people together, but under same umbrella as WeNaturalists. So you'll have to constantly figure out, if this route is not working, let's figure out something else. I mean, classic example, when we were talking to UNICEF, and they said we need platform in such way, Our IT sitting in New York will not give an approval because those two features are not required by us, but it was built in a manner that the entire community used to use that platform in a similar way. But because we had to accommodate someone like UNICEF, we made those changes at the back end. But that's it. That's a validation for me. That there is a need, but probably we'll have to approach it differently to make certain things happen. And that's what we've been constantly doing. Right? So I think that's what is super exciting. Very, very thoughtfully done. Right? And now what we've done is something that can be replicated across all the communities that we work with. Right? And that's the most critical thing that I'm.
So what will happen if somebody like you guys didn't exist? How will the world look like?
That's the same answer that if Google was not there, how would the world look like? There's nothing different. There will be something else. We'll find our way out, right? If temperatures are rising to 50 degrees, we'll still find our way out. World is not going to collapse, right? We'll have better ACs, right? So I think that's how essentially WeNaturalists is one more product which has opportunity and empowerment to make a difference in the lives of people who are working in this particular space or want to create difference in this particular space, who are still sitting at the fence. They don't want to get into it just because they don't know how to do it, right? This is the platform for them. Right now, people can't say and hide behind the fact that, hey, I don't know how to go about it. There is a platform over there where you can manage your NGO or anything else that you start for a particular purpose at virtually no cost, right? And run your entire platform, how many projects you want to run, approach it to the best tools, get people from America, get people from Africa, get from UK or Malaysia or Indonesia or Australia, and they're all on your fingertips. Where is that data or the platform available today? So now climate action is at your fingertips. Now it's up to you how to use it. Microsoft Excel is given to you now. Whether you use it for 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 or you want to create macros over there.
What kind of approach do you think, Amit, is required? You would have evaluated or worked with so many social and enterprises. From a management style standpoint, is the way these social enterprises are being managed, how satisfactory or unsatisfactory it is, and what kind of changes can be brought about to make them better?
Naveen, very interesting question. And I think that was also one of the building blocks of WeNaturalists, that when we went inside and the way they were working, and we thought that there's so much more that we can do with the same resources that they are allocating right now. So very simply put, rather than actually delving too much on this, resource management, they all raise money from external world. How we can manage their resources well, how you can use technology to do whatever you're doing well, how you can reduce printing rims of papers for fundraising or books that get distributed to the world at large and saying that, hey, look at my work, how good my work is. Why do you need to do it? There's a digital channel available. You can portray your work, send a link to your donor. He'll see a regular work. Day to day, he'll be able to appreciate you. Wow. Rather than waiting for 1 month later. Unless and until you don't want to build transparency. Right? So people who don't want transparency, they'll never use digitalization. Right? But people who are okay with that and they believe in their work, they believe in their passion and the milestones that they've created for themselves and the kind of good work that they're doing, they'll always use something like this. They'll always try to build it further by creating more and more projects, giving more and more employment to the skilled people in this particular space, and also ensure that their work is visible so that you can attract more and more people and convert more and more people for this particular work. So I think that's no-brainer. So clear empowerment, clear enablement on technology, clear digital transformation of sorts, clear opportunity to learn regularly, and clearly understanding what sustainability in real form means. One of the best platforms for you to learn and educate yourself about what's happening around, understanding about green careers. We all talk about that Google is hiring for sustainable solution or environmental scientists. What are they doing about it, right? They must be hiring in some of the topmost salary brackets, right? But are we really focusing on those things, or we are only talking about people who are working on the field and the NGO? There's so much of, the range of things that you can talk about. So I also want to talk about absolute for-profit thought process, so that we do not get colored in our mind that, hey, not for profit or climate action or climate change thought process doesn't pay well. Want
Yeah.
to break that myth. Just go and look deeper. If you are an engineer, you have a massive opportunity to become a climate engineer, right? If you are a doctor, you can create practices in the form and fashion around you to become more climate conscious. There are lots and lots of things from any profession or vocation that you come in. There's a lot to be done over here. That's what we are doing.
Great. Thanks a lot for your insights and time, Amit. Got to learn so much about entrepreneurship, about human being, being a good, a nice human being, and as well as about the business and the social impact which you guys are trying to create. So thanks a lot for your time. Any parting thoughts which you would want to end the conversation with?
No, I think it was a great conversation, and thank you for having me here. At WeNaturalists, at this point in time, it's a journey. We believe that there's a lot to achieve, to you and to your audience and to everyone who's going to be watching this. All I can say is that climate action, climate change is not the only job for larger players, foundations, CSRs, or people who talk at climate conferences. It's for everyone. And what WeNaturalists offers is for everyone. It's not for a particular individual who is now only interested in planting trees. So it's much beyond planting trees. So that's what we intend to do and spread the word around.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. All the best.